timing. Happy first day of school with Nix. Happy Monday to all. Hopefully, you got enough sleep. You are ready. You're all geared up for the changes that might happen on today. What can happen will definitely happen. So, get yourself in gear. Stay prayed up so you don't get played up. Okay. All right. Now, today, you want to make sure you have a good meal, a good prep time. Give yourself a time to woosah because the teachers are having a first day too. The other kids are having a first day. You don't know who's not prepared. So it's best you be prepared so you don't have to worry about being, in the interim of things. You understand? The people that are prepared are going to make the day go a lot faster. They're going to be prepared for anything that changes. They're going to be prepared for the adjustments that need to happen. Also, be a little bit kind or fair. That's the rest of the cooking timer that just went off. But that's confirmation to somebody. Be prepared for the changes of the bus drivers. They're going to be getting used to their new routes. They're going to be used to getting used to the traffic, used to new kids. They're also got their own kids. And yeah, people make mistakes, especially on the first day. So if you want to be, given a little bit of leeway, a little bit in life, give somebody a little bit of chance, okay? This is the first day. All right, all right. Be sure to check those book bags because they're sure to sneak some kind of extra paperwork inside, emergency contact, that sort of thing. Make sure that your shots and everything, your shot records are up to date. You got some copies. Anything like that will make your day a little bit easier because they start asking for things right at the beginning. Right, right, right. Pardon me while I take a nibble of the toast. Yeah. I had to get breakfast done early because first day of school. Haven't picked the scripture yet. Busy, busy morning. Happy Virgo Day. Happy birthday to those Virgos. Leo Virgo cusp to be exact. But going into Virgo, today is the 24th. So today is maybe wrapping up the cuspers and going straight up Virgo, okay? So let's see what the zodiac is going to be after we pick a scripture because I haven't picked it yet, right? I told you I'd start waiting for you guys. Let's see. Hopefully everybody's ready for today. They had their drink of water, they had their coffee, tea, whatever it is that gets your goat first thing in the morning. You know what? I think this one is the best one for today. Let me get the hat on. All right. Today's the last day. You better tighten up. If you don't already have those sleep schedules intact, I suggest tonight you have that talk. Look, no more screen time, no more tablet time. Let's get it done. Oh, yeah. Somebody's being petty about school supplies. They're arguing about something else, but it's really about the pride. It's about not being able to provide and you being able to get things for free. So instead of that person admit that they're getting a little bit prideful of the fact that you're still being able to provide, even though they're doing their best to make things hard, only because they're trying to get attention that they never asked for from their mother or their absentee father. They're going to keep arguing with you because you keep coming through and being a parent. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have a spouse or a child's mother or a child's father that seems to always do a little bit too much, especially when it comes time to school. When it comes time to school, they always like to make everything about them. But the thing about it is, you're doing the best you can. So tell that person, that spouse, that absentee parent, just chill because if you could do it, why didn't you? If not, don't argue with me. I'm doing the best I can. Plus, you want to send those kids to school without trauma. They've already got enough. Yesterday seems like there was a little bit of tension in the air. I don't know if it was because of the baby mother, baby daddy syndrome thing we got going on, but not be baby mothers and baby daddies. Let's be fathers of our children and mothers of our children. That actually changes a little bit of the mindset if you learn to change what the title is. What are you looking for? Did you eat your breakfast? Go eat your breakfast. Get a fork and eat your breakfast. No, a fork. You got your breakfast sitting right in front of you. Yeah, and get prepared to keep repeating things over and over to the kids, especially if they have been exposed to tablets and electronic devices. What's wrong? No, no snacks. Eat your breakfast first. You'll eat snacks later. Get used to having that conversation as well. We've got to get them used to the school belly as opposed to the at home, I'm bored, I just want to eat things because they have flavor belly. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, it's time to actually get a little bit more discipline when it comes to diet. I'm talking to you and me at the same time. Because this kid, oh boy, he loves the snack cabinet. Either way, let's go. We have Psalms 120, Psalms 120. I know it a little bit by heart, so I'll just go with the book just because this is what it is. In my distress, I cried unto the Lord, and he heard me. Deliver my soul, O Lord, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. What shall be given unto thee, or what shall be done unto thee, thou false tongue? Sharp arrows of the mighty with coals of juniper. Woe is me that I sojourn in Mesech, that I dwell in the tents of Kedar. My soul hath long dwelt with him that hateth peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. Amen, amen. Selah, so be it, so let it be. Ashe, ashe, ashe. A lot of times you know your intentions. You have to set your intentions, and you also have to fix your tongue, so that you don't despite anyone, so that you don't use the authority of your tongue to ruin others, because just as well you can prepare and speak life into others during the day, you can also change the course of another's day by the tone of your voice and by the sharpness of your tongue. So be mindful not to waste words nor emotions on a day such as this, where emotions will run high only because those are the cheapest currency that can be spent. Anger, envy, all those little cheap things that we come across in human nature as reactions and the adjectives of our lives, the descriptions of how we might be feeling at the time. Sometimes we give them a little bit more license than they need. So when like holiday times, first days of schools, voting times, days when there's already a lot of high anxiety for no other reason other than propaganda or stigmata, or stigma, you want to say. So you want to know that you don't need to add to it, especially if you know you've been through it before. It's never your first rodeo, and you know what to expect. Leave room for the other rookies who might need a little bit of guidance. Maybe your cool, calm demeanor may be able to guide them in a better way, as opposed to them going postal and pulling out their hair, or maybe thinning out their their hairline, just for the sake of getting through another milestone in this here life. So, for all those who have gotten through a few things, please stand by and be available for those who have gotten through nothing and they feel entitled to have a crash out here and there. Your calm demeanor could lend a little bit to the universe at this time, especially for those new parents, or those parents who always seem to wait till the last minute for everything. They seem to take up a majority of the anxiety during that time. And oftentimes they project. They don't really get apologetic or anything, or they don't hold space for other people. They usually use anger as a way to, throw things off course, so nobody actually gets a chance to see that they've been caught lacking once again. Even though the child is pretty much damn near grown, you still can't get it together, right? But there's always those, right? But then you got to hold some space for the new parents who don't quite know, and they might need to ask questions. And people aren't as inviting as they used to be in the years. Everybody pretty much expects you to just get it right away. Like there's some manual, even though they're faking it until they're making it. They actually feel like it's weak to ask questions. And this is what causes a lot of anxiety for new parents as well, when they feel as though the, what do you say, the seasoned parents won't give them an answer, but they'll look at them a little while. Let's lend to the universe and be a little helpful. If not helpful, at least accepting. If you see a parent making a mistake, either have guidance or shut up. The world's already judgmental. This one. All right, so let's get on with the tarot. Real quick, see, because I've got things to do as well. Hopefully you've gotten everything hung out on the line. You've got your laundry schedule already figured out. You know what they're going to eat for snacks, and you've already started planning for what their meal will be when they get back home. That'll give you a little less anxiety. If not planning for their meal, if they're old enough, plan for your meal and make sure that you have your portion. A underfed parent is an angry parent, and you might start asking for some unreasonable things when the kid gets home, especially not knowing that you're going to have to learn a whole new rack of names. What, the friends, the teachers? You're going to have to learn some homework depending on how far your child is down the educational ladder. So, be mindful and be human and be forgiving to yourself. Remember, you've got to be the parent that you didn't have before, and you've got to go forward with kids that we've never raised before. This is a way different circus than we've been accustomed to, okay? And it gets a little spookier as they get more progressed. So, yeah, these new kids, woo, test tube biddies. TV tube, baby. Alex, breakfast. Sit down. Eat it. Yeah, you gotta be like that. Mm-mm-mm. Water in the morning. Okay, so I've got Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Pisces right in front of me. So what we're going to do is start in Sagittarius, because I never start from there. I never do. All right. So we've got 8. We've got a spirit to action, a spur to action, quick motion, quick response, something like that. Might be a lot of communication, a lot of going back and forth. This is interaction. 8. A lot of interaction. Then we've got the devil here, which is what? Shadow, self-attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, materialism, codependency, and toxicity. Who in the heck is that on the first day of school? Be mindful, there might be some kids that got some plans. You don't know what they met up on the playground and came up with in the next few days. So be mindful to be extra nosy when it comes to your kids, especially the preteens and the teens. You really want to know what they got going on, especially when it comes to Roblox. Some of these elementary school kids are a bit advanced too, so you might want to look at them. All right, so now we have the 8, escapism. Do you have a kid that kind of drowned you out by looking at their electronics? You might want to check on that refresh. You might want to look at that browser. You may want to look at that history, okay? Because this is the stance. We've got to toe the line, and it starts with the children. What's going on? When's the last time you watched a few movies with your kid? When's the last time they really wanted to talk to you and it wasn't you talking at them? I saw that that part on YouTube where the guy Nitro something, he was a brand new YouTuber, and I think he was about 17 or 18. And his mom came in his room and she was telling him to lay down, and he's 18. And I understand that everybody has a set rule for their homes, not trying to be intrusive. But the way that she interacted with her child, especially with over 20,000 people watching her streaming live, that had to been like, oh my God, the worst embarrassing thing. And then to find out she's a teacher and she was actively really abusing him during the interaction on the live stream. That says a lot. You don't know who people are behind closed doors. You don't know, just because people have titles doesn't mean that you can overall trust them. Remember, this woman was a teacher, and she couldn't even hold her anger with her 18-year-old pre-semi man. This guy's huge, and here she is small, and she was really full on physically attacking her son. Now, I'm not saying that the I don't know the context of the actual physical interaction. What I do know is he was actually trying to restrain himself. He was just trying to stay still as she was full on making body contact with him on this thing. And she never looked up to see that she was on live stream. Don't know if it was scripted or not. All I know is that that was a pure example of not being able to hold temperance, not being the same person who you say you are when it comes to being on paper, when it comes in your school life, when it comes into your public life. You're supposed to be trusted with people's kids, people's emotions, and you're trusted to be able to interact in the proper way when it comes to everything, not just when people are looking, but when people are not looking. So even if it was something that was just done for views, it is a perfect example of how authenticity might save you. If you say you're one way, you might want to be one way across the board, because you never know who's looking. We have this new generation where everything gets recorded and there's always someone watching. So if you can't live with it, I think you should think about it before you do it, okay? We have a new world of paparazzi where everybody can be filmed for whatever kind of leverage or power or influence it might benefit someone. So it might benefit you to think about who you say you are before who you show who you are. All right? Now that comes through for adults, all adults, with all titles, and children. They are leading by our example. They are going forward with what we show, not exactly with what we say. So you might want to be mindful before you do that thing that you do in front of that kid that you have. All right? So with that being said, we have Sagittarius. We have the 8, which is that speed, rapid action movements, swift change, manifesting quickly, quick decisions, and air travel. Okay, could be emails, could be airdrop. Lots of people have iPhones for that very reason. And for that very reason, iPhones are the top security leak that I can even think about, is because not only are they uber friendly when it comes to updates, it's also uber friendly when it comes to the law. See, a lot of things that go on your iPhone, they're applicable to the law per Apple software agreement. So if you don't want to be caught in any of those loopholes, you might want to look at your Apple software agreement. That's where the details really, really do matter. And this is obsession. So if someone's obsessed and they have a lot of things that they shouldn't have in their memory and their storage and their cloud, there's no way to take it out. It's already done. What's already done can't be undone. Damn. So somebody might feel a need to try to escape, try to eject something. They might even feel a need to destroy the device. Either way, if someone already has a footprint, electronic footprint, it's already said and done. It's above you now. It's in the cloud. All right? So just be careful of the things that you do. Some things can't be undone, especially if you've already hit shared and saved, especially when you've already shared it. Sharing it leaves an electronic footprint because it has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere before it's extorted or exported somewhere else, which means that it's already had traffic, which means it already had motion. If you've ever watched, what is that? Home. Remember when the alien that the character that that was voiced by Rihanna, he hit the little sin, and they were all basically on GPS to the aliens because he hit sin, and as long as that message was floating, they were able to track it. Sort of something like that. All right? I know I'm always using movies. That's because I'm uber interested in what my child watches so that I can know how sneaky a child could be. I'm telling you, these cartoons will save you from some of these kids. the eggs, the bacon. By the way, I made some crispy turkey bacon. You can hear the crunch. Who can do that? So, we've got disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, walking away, and leaving behind. So somebody really wants to get away from this whole situation. They want to get away from the device. They really want to destroy the device, but even if you destroy the device, you can't really destroy the electronic footprint. And you got to teach your kids this as well. Be careful of being too impulsive and not thinking, trying to be cool in school and take pictures of your other classmates and do things without being aware, being extra sneaky. It's not going to fly, okay? So have that talk with your kid, especially if they're new to having electronics. There's a responsibility. If not, if you don't want to be held responsible for your kids' irresponsibility and them not knowing, then you might want to keep the electronics away from them until you can handle what might happen. All right? So that was Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Pisces. We're responsible and accountable, even when it's coming to our children. We have to take a stance at some point. Okay? 8 plus 15, that is 23, plus another 8. That's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 31, that's foundations. All right. So that was a foundational talk to make sure that we get the year started off as safely as possible and as responsibly as possible. Okay? All right. There you go. So let's get on over to Capricorn. Our last one is going to be Scorpio. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hearts to you all as well. Thanks again for 1,000 plus subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Looking forward to much, much, many more. Queen of Swords. We've got the 9 of Swords and we've got a 5 of Pentacles. 95 or 59. Someone heading on to 60. Let me knock on the door. Hey, they're knocking. You might let them in. All right. There you go. So who's knocking on the age of 60? Who's born in 95? All right. So we've got the Queen of Swords. Unbiased judgment, independent, clear boundaries, direct communication, clear-minded, and perceptive. Okay, so somebody's got a keen eye about them. They are ever seeing, ever knowing, and they know when something's up. They can smell when something's happening. Can you smell what the rock is cooking? So now we've got the 9 of Swords. And this is anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, despair. So somebody's got their hackles up. Somebody's warning system has got them up. They're not sleeping comfortably. It's like they can feel it. It's the quiet before the storm. Now we've got this 5 of Pentacles. Let's understand it. Financial loss, lack mindset, loss, isolation, worry, need, poverty, insecurity. Okay, so maybe it is the quiet before the storm. So somebody's bracing for a financial change, a living quality of living change. Someone is bracing for an impact, okay? They're not sleeping very well. They're kind of on guard when it comes to people. And they're not really, they're kind of closed mouth right now. They don't know what's going to go on, so they really don't want to say. They don't feel safe saying at this point in time. All they know is that they're bracing for some kind of impact or change, be it with their living situation, be it with a car, be it with some kind of financial situation, maybe a social status of some sort. Somebody is bracing for some kind of impact. What we've got here is a 59 or 95. Maybe somebody born in 59 or 95. We also have Virgo, Libra. We have Taurus, and we have Gemini here. 5 plus 9, that is just going to take us to 14, which is Temperance. So somebody's definitely trying to keep on a poker face while they brace whatever changes this is. Maybe if they pretend that it never happened, it'll pass by. But something tells me somebody's going to break the straw on the camel's back by actually mentioning something. It's going to be that one mention that probably breaks all open the bowels, and here we go. All right, so somebody needs to brace Get themselves mentally prepared because there's an onslaught coming, okay? All right. She'll be coming around the mountain. Here she comes. Okay. Remember, that is Virgo, Libra, Gemini, and Taurus. And they're hoping not to be judged very heavily. Hopefully, this person isn't a very big hypocrite, because if they were heavily judging, the judging shall happen. All right, all right. We are still in Saturn retrograde, which means we are in the retrograde of conflict. What will happen can happen. Murphy's Law does apply. And if there were things that you didn't handle, you weren't tough enough to handle, guess what? You're going to have to thicken up now, because it is time. You can't keep putting things off when you keep wanting to put things on, all right? I put on for my city, on for my city, put on, east side, put on, west side, put on. All right. Pardon my voice, it's a little bit this morning. I haven't had my tea, and I went a few hours, quite more than 10 to 11 hours yesterday without talking. Without talking, I was taking a break. Right now, the numbers are 11 coming out. It's 1 1. That's it. That is 1 1. So we're going to do that. 2 1 and 1 came out. That's significant to someone somewhere. Here we are again. This is Aquarius sitting here. The Magician is here. The Ace of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. So we have Mercury. We have the answer yes. And we have Sagittarius and Capricorn. Action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. We have love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, marriage. Then we have nurturing, practical, providing, financially, a working parent. Somebody is open for love. Somebody is loving themselves. Somebody is over. You can never overdo it. Someone is very nurturing to themselves. They're giving themselves so much love that is actually outpouring. They are vibrating in the frequency of love. They are family oriented. They're family prepared. They're family nurturing. They are just all around good energy. So someone's manifesting, and they're manifesting in a good, peaceful life, a loving spouse, just a loving existence all around the board. They will do the universe no ill will, so the universe does it no will. All right, so somebody's vibrating very high this morning. We have the Magician here, which is action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. You understand here? Then we have the Ace of Cups. Love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, marriage. Somebody is very healthy. They're fertile if this is a woman, and they're viral if it's a man. Somebody's very healthy on the inside and the out, and they are willing and healthy enough to not only build new family but take care of the family that they already have. Someone is an ace in the hole. They are wonderful. That is significant to this 1-1. They are ready to sail off to Solomon's Island. They're ready for marriage. They're ready for business. They're ready for travel. They're ready for the world. So how about it? Someone is uber balanced and they're just ready. Oh boy, somebody is the very epitome of preparedness. They are ready to receive everything that the universe has in store for them, if only it is offered. And it is a good offer, because you got to be careful with just taking any offer just because it's offered to you. Use discernment, because there will be many who can pretend, but there'll be one that will be genuine. All right. Take this with a stride. Okay, Aquarius, you have that Mercury energy. You have a positive yes. The universe says yes to you, if only you say yes to it. And we have that Sagittarius, which is the Archer, which is very direct. And we have the Capricorn, which is more logic, head over heart decision, but the heart is still there. There will be passion, but it's got to make sense. And that is attractive in itself. All right, go forward, Aquarius, and be great. The number is 2. Remember, that is it for you. All right. We have some great energy coming out first thing on a Monday. How's about that? Garfield never saw this coming. Of course, lasagna is good any day of the week. It's comfort food, isn't it? All right. So we have the 7, the chariot, the 7, the chariot, the 8 of cups, and we have the 15, the devil, coming right back out. We have the 78 and 87. We also have August the 15th. We have July the 15th. We also have May the 18th, May the 17th. We also have January the 8th, January the 7th. We also have someone born in 87 or 78, okay? We have the last names Baker, we have Paul, we have George. We also have Smith. We also have Sharon, Sherry, Sharon. We also have Sharon. Sherman, something like that. Melvin, Marvin, something like that. All right, that's for the names that just came out. Okay, so this is the Pisces reading. So we have Cancer, Pisces, and Capricorn energy in this one. This is the Pisces reading. We have the 7, which is the chariot, movement, progress, action, integration, determination, willpower, control, direction, departure, and courage. So somebody's got to power forward because this is quick moving. Somebody's got to get some things on the go. Someone's got to get on the good foot. Now we have disappointment again, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, walking away, leaving behind, escapism. This is the 8 of Cups. Someone wants to take what they have and they want to pack it up and go. This is fast moving. Something's approaching that's making this person want to run. Like I said in the beginning, someone's very obsessed. I don't know what it is. They're operating out of their shadow self. Maybe they're materialistic. Maybe they're very destructive. Maybe they are easy to tempt and they have a problem with sexuality. They're feeling a bit restricted. Seduction might be an issue. Codependency, toxicity. Whatever it is, somebody is definitely wanting to escape. They're of a younger nature or of an older nature. They're probably prompting someone's midlife crisis by way of toxicity. All right, so we have the 7 plus the 8, which would be a... Al, thank you. 15 plus 15, we've got a 30, which is 3. There will be divine intervention. Whatever it is, this is quick moving. Somebody really wants to run away. They have addiction. Someone wants to hide what they have going on. Someone wants to hide exactly the double life that they've been living. And if not a double life, someone wants to exactly hide exactly how bad it is what they're doing. Okay? That is the Pisces reading. Pisces, Cancer, and Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. All right, we're getting into Aries now. Hello, good morning, Aries. Let me take a bite of my English muffin. Nope, sorry, it's sourdough. Somebody a little bit easy around this time. Be mindful of those of taking those supplements that are supposed to be for yeast infections of that nature. If you need to take supplements for it, you need to think about who you're laying with and your cleaning or your hygiene regimen. I don't know why I said that and I ate some sourdough. Whatever. Either way, if you're needing to take extra supplements when it comes to your feminine health, you might need to think about the hygiene, your spiritual hygiene, who you're laying with, and your bathing products. Yeah, those things could change the nature down there. It can change the culture. It can change your pH balance. So if your pH balance is off, maybe you go to your primary care And maybe you think about your diet, the things that you eat, and your spiritual hygiene, the people that are around you, who you're washing your underwears with. If you're washing your underwears in a family setting, are you washing your underwears with someone else that is unhygienically clean? Think about your toilet seat. Who's sitting in your bathroom? All these things should be considered. I don't know why, but this has got somebody up at night. Somebody's hygiene has been thrown off, and they don't know exactly where it came from. They don't know exactly where they came from, or they do know exactly where it came from, and they're not making it public, or they don't know how to go about exposing the person who did give them something. Someone's up at night, they can't sleep, they're worried about their health, or some concern that has just popped up. It's nothing to cut someone off, okay? And now we have the Six of Cups. So someone equal give and take. So someone consented to it and they knew that it was a possibility. Possibly they did something with someone that they had no business doing it with. And this is the reason why they're up at night, because they have anxiety about being exposed. Exposed, 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 okay? So let's read from the cards and concoct it, okay? Nine of Swords, anxiety, worry, fear, depression, insomnia, nightmares, hopelessness, trauma, and despair. Like I said, somebody's worried about something being a bit yeasty, something being pH balanced or off. There's something. Maybe you're a man and you went to the bathroom and it's not smelling so great, or it didn't come out right, or it doesn't feel right when it comes out. But somebody's worried about what had happened, all right? And then we've got the Queen of Swords here. Unbiased judgment, independent, clear boundaries, direct communication, clear-minded, perceptive. So somebody's asking where you been, who you been, where you been, what's that smell, where'd you get it from? All right, and somebody's ready to walk away, and this is the problem. Somebody's probably worried about somebody walking away. That's why they're worried about what had happened, because this person is ready to walk away, and they know if they get exposed, then it's going to be all over the place. But the problem is they're going to be all over the place because they never wanted the person to be walking away. Now this is equal give and take, which means that you need to be responsible. Hey, listen, you got to be accountable for the things that you do. Where you been? Where'd you open your legs? Where'd you take your pants off? Where'd you take your panties off? And who you keep visiting and who you keep allowing to visit you. So be mindful of the company that you keep, or is it keeping you? All right. So don't be ashamed of asking for my chart, health statuses, or taking a ride with the person. Sometimes you don't let them know. You pull up at the clinic and you say, come on, we got to get on out of here and we got to get some answers. Let's straighten it out. Yeah, let's straighten it out. That's Lattimore. Sometimes you got to have those hard talks, and you got to do them face to face. You can't keep using the social media and the internet and trying to hide things. You need to go face to face and handle your business like real men and women used to have to. All right? Because you can catch a hot one in your ass nowadays for just about anything. All right, so this was the Aries reading. 9 plus 6 or 69. Hey, with your freaky frog, that's probably what got you in the problem now. You be careful of kissing people in the mouth, especially if that ain't really your spouse. Yeah, especially if it is your spouse and you know how nasty they can be. Some people just nasty, okay? Keep some Listerine, the original and the blue kind. Kill those germs before those germs kill you. All right, so 9 plus 6 is a 15, which means someone's obsessed, someone's got anxiety, and someone is very low when it comes to temptation. Temptation can make them skip that condom, skip that protection, skip the word no. So if you know you've got somebody who's very weak when it comes to that pull-out game, when it's very weak when it comes to saying no, when it's very weak, when you know that you can't trust them out of a earshot, you can't trust them as far as you can throw them, definitely be on your P's and Q's, be on your personal protection equipment. Also be up on your prophylactics. Be up on your Listerine and your hygiene, and you shall be okay. All right, that was Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. Be passionate about it, not just about it. All right, let's get on with Taurus. We're flowing pretty good this morning, and I like the way it is. All right, hopefully the kids got enough sleep. they've picked up so that you don't have to worry about that all day and you're ready to get them out. All right, mix up your eggs. If you're making eggs for them, take out the meat if you already haven't. All right, some people forgot to take that meat out of the freezer yesterday, I know. Go on and put it in some tepid water now and just hope for the best. All right, so now we've got a 20, a 3, and we've got the King of Cups. We've got the 20, which is Judgment. We've got the 3 of Wands, and then we've got the King of Cups. Let's read what's going on. Judgment, rebirth, and a calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, and mercy. Somebody's about to come around, spin the block, and apologize, hoping that you are a bit more lenient on them. I don't mean to be in your business, but it's only a suggestion. You don't have to forgive who you don't want to forgive. You can accept the apology, but you don't have to accept the person back. It's good if you let a person apologize. It's more for you than it is for them. But you don't have to if you don't want to. It's all up to you. Remember when they were trying to push your free will? Remember that part, and that'll give you the answer. All right, like I said, this is a 20, which is judgment, rebirth, and a calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, mercy. Somebody also knows they need to give you an apology, but they're too damn stubborn too, so they're going to ride it to the grave. All right, so that means that they could be mounted whatever demon they've opened themselves up to, and that demon's going to ride them into the ground. You don't need to lift a finger, collective. They're going to do it themselves. Self-destruction. They're headed for self-destruction. All right, so preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, and expansion, overseas opportunities. What you need to do is get ready for your opportunities. There are going to be people that are going to want to talk to you, whether it be good or bad, and you're going to have to use your discernment on whether or not to talk to them. Be careful of answering things that need to go in front of the court of law. You might need a lawyer. When people start asking weird questions, you need to start shutting up because you have no idea what they're cooking up for you. So be careful who you're talking to. Don't be all free willy-nilly talking to anybody because you are becoming more and more important, and influence does matter, okay? So if you are in the public, if you do have a platform, if you do have a responsibility, just make sure that you're responsible for every word that comes out of your mouth, not unless you want to hear it in the court of law. You want somebody to be on your court papers. I'm just saying. You have to be more responsible because everybody's under judgment because, hey, loose lips do sink ships, especially if you've got a pretty nice one. All right, don't be a dinghy and sink yours. All right, now we have the King of Cups. You got a responsibility to sit up in your throne, and you have a responsibility to not only be generous to the universe, but be generous to yourself first. If you have nothing for yourself, you can't give to nobody else. All right. So we have emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic control, balance, supportive leader, tolerance, and empathetic. You do consider other people's position, but you have to understand your position in respect to theirs, and that's how you stay upon your throne. Don't be so daggone self-serving and selfless that you make yourself a martyr. You don't intend to. Okay, don't be just giving it up just to be giving it up. All right. Remember to remain unmovable in your stance. That's exactly how you got to where you're going to get, and that's how you're going to maintain, okay? So be consistent with yourself before you be consistent for someone else, all right? Routine is everything. So we have a 20 and a 3, and that is 23, which equals up to a 5. Be prepared for unexpected changes. That's what leaders do. They always have a contingency plan. I mean, how else are they going to take your advice if you're not around? Darling, darling, baby, you're my sweet and tender love. I say you're my everything. You're the best thing I ever hoped for in a woman. Woo! I'll give you plenty of love and all you got. What? Somebody's loving. Somebody's really loving. I feel like some type of energy here. Somebody feels like they're under judgment about love. Somebody feels like they're under judgment about a relationship. Someone also feels like they're trying to get into a relationship, but they feel like they're going to be judged. They're scared of judgment. Someone's scared of rejection. Somebody has anxiety about rejection. It's like they want to, but they don't want to. They want to test the waters, but they don't want to test the waters. They're really, really like someone comes off really, really confident, but in the back of the subconscious, they're really like, I don't know. They're like a scared guy, a scared little girl, something like that. Somebody wants to, but they don't want to dive in for the fear of shame or rejection. I say, sleep on it. Think about how you want to approach. How would you want to be approached that you feel as though would be taken seriously? That's for only for the person that's really serious about what they're trying to come up with, okay? All right. So, yeah. Be prepared for some unexpected changes. Someone's under judgment, someone's judging themselves, someone is a little anxious about rejection. Someone's preparing. Someone's been practicing. Someone's been rehearsing some lines, what they want to go on. Do yourself a favor. Study long, study wrong. The longer you do it, the more anxiety you're going to build. The more it's going to be difficult and awkward. So if you're not ready to just go in and be all into it and be authentic, I suggest you just cool down because it can get a bit cringy after a while, okay? Remember the King of Cups. That can be male or female, emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic control, balance, supportive leader, tolerance, and empathetic, okay? I'm going to go through the cards one more time just in case we lost our way. This is in Taurus. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, mercy, preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, overseas opportunities, emotionally balanced. So somebody wants to forgive themselves of an old relationship and how they've been in the past, and they want to move forward into a beautiful relationship. So hopefully they're able to apply a lot of their lessons to this new situation, and they can go off into the sunset with a good bride or a good husband, okay? All right. Hopefully this helps, Taurus. 20 and 3, be prepared for unexpected changes. Don't attach yourself to the result as much as the journey. Remember to romanticize the journey just as much as you romanticize the result, okay? That can be equal give and take to the universe as well. It might not work out the first time, but at least practice makes perfect and you'll get it, okay? All right, like I said, that'll be Aries and that'll be Aquarius and Pisces in this Taurus reading. All right, there you have it. That was the Taurus. That was a 5, which happens to be May again. So sometime around by May next year, I'm looking to see some of those bling bling rings, okay? There's some matrimony between now and then. Hey, somebody's going to be married by next May. You don't have to invite me. Just eat the cake, all right? Eat the cake. Okay, so we've got the High Priestess out here for Gemini. And we've got the Four of Wands and we've got the Page of Pentacles. This looks very satisfying. We've got 24 out here, which is a 6 equal give and take to the universe. But right now we have the High Priestess, which is a 2. Intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine, feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. All right, divine feminine, here you are. Even if you are divine masculine, you have high morality. You like to keep things clean. You like to keep up the aesthetics, but you also like to have things good from the inside out. It's not enough for you just to have the aesthetics. You also like to have the real effect of being a good person. You're a rarity around here, and a lot of people don't know you, don't open up to you readily because they don't know. They've never quite seen an energy like yours before. So they pretty much come off suspicious when there's a world where everybody's pretty much dog eat dog. They've never experienced an energy quite like yours. Now we have this Four of Wands. Celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, homecoming. This is what you've always been. This is what you've always presented to people. And people don't know how to take that. When I've told you, people have gotten used to the bare minimum in life. They've been breadcrumbed through life. They've been love bombed. And they just can't get that a person like you is actually the right person on the first try. So they usually mess up with you way before you even write them off.
and it becomes a little bit cringy when you see them again and they're remembering all the possibilities that they could have had, but they can no longer go back and visit. That's a dang shame for us high priests and high priestesses, isn't it? That the people didn't get it right the first time, and unfortunately, they had to learn that you really do block people, and you really don't spin the block. But they only figure this out after they've already messed up their chance. Damn. They usually get upset and start to lie on you because they be damned if they like to look like a fool by themselves. So brace yourself as you become the invisible villain. You're the only one that doesn't know that you didn't do shit wrong. All right, so you've got the Page of Pentacles. So you've got to be prepared to start over anew, especially when people just can't wrap their hands and wrap their arms and wrap their heads around the fact that you are actually a monogamous person in a person's face and out of a person's face. People don't experience that much, especially a person that's always been cheated on. They think that you're some kind of imaginary person, and there's no way you're not going without. There's no way you don't have like 1,000 people calling you. There's just no way, and they won't find out until they're the 1,000th and 1 person that can't pick up the phone and contact you anymore. So you're okay with starting over, and that's how you keep your youth about you. You don't invest a lot of time in the things that no longer work. Unfortunately, that can't be said for a lot of your exes. They just keep looking back and keep looking back and keep looking back, and you keep saying go forward. No need to look back here. We're good. Satisfied. We've been there before. We ain't coming back again. So you're manifesting a new life, a new environment, a new mode of things. You'd like to find a new supply because the ones you keep meeting keep doubting you. You'd like to find someone who's secure enough to believe that you can actually be faithful. One day it'll happen. Until then, you keep up the good hope. Keep the hope alive, okay? Manifestation, financial opportunities, skill development, ambition, desire, diligence. Fortunately for you, in the interim of having so many people doubt you and love, you'll have just as many people who will take you serious in business. So use that to your advantage. That is a skill that is unmatched, okay? And for you, this is what I'm going to say. For us priestess and priestesses, this is the thing. We're not going to find love in a mode that we think we're going to find love. We're not going to find love via love. We're going to find love via friendship, via travel, and via business. Through our consistency and our repeated behavior patterns, that's how love is going to find us. And then we're not going to be able to get away from it. And that's the only way I think that a high priest and a high priestess can find love, through consistency and lot logistics. It's never going to be about that head over heel things, but the good thing for us is that we can stay engaged in the romantics of life. We can enjoy a trip. We can enjoy a good meal. We can enjoy a movie. And that's how we'll find our other halves, because it's going to be logical. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be one of those mushy, ushy, gushy situations. It's going to be so logical that we eat cake and feed each other too. All right? So go forward with your Gemini self. You don't have to be a Gemini, but you have to be able to pivot and see things in multiple different ways. A jack of all trades, so to speak. All right? And there you have it, the 2 and the 4. You're a leader. You have Aries situation going on. You're very intuitive, so you think outside the box and in the box. You think from the inside out and back again. And you're always manifesting. You are a major manifester. And that's another reason why people don't believe that you exist and that you can actually be monogamous, because you can have just about anybody you want. Why would you want me? And that's the insecurity. So when you find out that a person is that very, don't be running at the first sign, because you got to get somebody a chance to adjust. But when you realize that that's their pattern, that they're always going to try to triangulate you just to make you want them more, just know that they're making you want them less. And that's the things that a high priest and a high priestess have to deal with. People are very insecure where you're very secure. So they always ask the question in the back of their head, what if? What if they try to leave me? Some people would try to leave you before you leave them because they're insecure. And then they got a nerve to get upset when you say, no, keep going. It's a one-way thing. Once you exit, you can no longer enter. Thank you for using Enterprise. I'm such a riot. You know how you return those rentals back to the airport? Those spikes will surely come up. Once again, the number was 6. An equal give and take to the universe. That's all we be trying to do. All right, let's get over to the Cancer. That was Gemini. All right, Cancer, let's go, let's go, let's go. We started off in Sagittarius, so we're going to end in Scorpio. All right, so we've got the 4 of Cups, and we've got a 4 of Swords, and we've got a 4. We've got triple 4s this morning. What's up, what's up, what's up? Back up, because it's on. What's going on here? We've got the 4 of Cups, we've got the 4 of Swords, and we have the 4. That's the Emperor. Look, I didn't set it up. This is what happened. Somebody breathed on my cards. This has got to be ancestor protection and ancestor projection. Okay, we have to understand that ancestors are sometimes coming about and they touch us ever so gently, nudging us in places that we really need to pay attention. So someone's grandmother, grandfather, someone's last dying wish was for something for you. I'm not there with you. I wasn't there during that conversation. But someone's passed over loved one had some last wishes for someone, and they just pop right on up in this message. This 4, this 4, and this 4. So someone who you definitely respected and gave high honor before they passed away gave you some last wishes, some type of direction. They had some type of wishes for your life. They wanted you to finish some kind of education. They wanted you to take a certain spouse. And they also asked you to do something or not do something. Only you know, for a select few that are listening to me right now. There was somebody who passed over who left you responsibility. And are you doing it? Are you honoring the dead? We're not talking about making altars and giving offers and doing all that. I'm talking about, are you honoring the dead by passing on their legacy, by living the best way that you should? Are you breaking any generational curses? If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. So, meditation might be needed, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, and you may need to disconnect from some things. Maybe you have an addiction to some things. Maybe you have someone that overshadows what you should be doing in life. Maybe you're so male-centered or female-centered that you can't actually get any plans done. Maybe you're not spending as much time with your kids. You're not investing into your children or the things that you need to be investing into. You need to disconnect from something because it's helping you to not get your life together, okay? Sometimes when we find a place of comfort and we find a place of acceptance, we get a bit complacent and we don't do the things that we should be doing, okay? So maybe you're too busy laid up somewhere. Somebody's not telling you to get off the video game. Somebody's just feeding you food, or somebody's just feeding you illicit substances or something, and you're so distracted that you're not handling the things in life that you need to handle. Somebody's helping you to shirk off your responsibilities. So maybe you need to disconnect from something. Maybe the internet, maybe social media, maybe some coworkers, maybe some friends, maybe a lover. There's something that you need to disconnect from, and it's something that you also need to connect to. So it's something you need to replace something with. All right, now we have the 4, the next 4, which is the 4 of Swords, which means that you need some kind of rest and relaxation. Maybe you need to go cold turkey. Maybe you need to go into rehab. Maybe you need to go on a retreat. Maybe you need to take a little bit of time away from people for some, maybe a week or two. Maybe you need to take a break, a vacation. There's something you need to break away from, okay? Maybe there's something that you're addicted to. Maybe it's something you do every day. It's something that you have to take a break from. These are two cards. One's disconnected and the other one's rest and restoration. Maybe you need to go on a diet, rethink what you're eating, rethink what you're taking into your eyes, rethink what you're listening to. It's something going on where you need to sit down somewhere. Maybe you need to go celibate, be abstinent for a reason. Maybe you need to refrain from masturbation for a time. There's something that you're overdoing. You know, masturbation can be a symptom of depression and it also can cause depression, all because you're using a lot of your sacral energy and you're expelling it without a use. It's not going anywhere. You're not using it for anything. It's not being used in creation. So you're wasting a lot of your spinal fluid, which is being mixed up in that very thing that if you don't clean it from places, it calcifies. So that lets you know that it's made up of some kind of mineral, okay, which is being depleted from your spine every time you use it. If you're a person who's always being who's hyperactual, you are using a lot of your sacral energy that could be used for creation, that could be used for restoration, that could be used for healing, that could be used for a lot of other things other than what you're using it for, which is carnality, which would make you sleep, which would bring on, which would enact your natural melatonin, which would make you a little lethargic, and it'll just make you eat. Probably not the best of diets. So you may need to sit down from some things. And this last four, this is respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules, power, authority, father figure, protection, control, discipline, focus, practicality. This might point to some father wound or some kind of wound that was made by some kind of male influence in your life, be it there was over too much male influence or lack thereof. There's pointing to some kind of father wound, whether it be in the reverse or not, okay? And this also points to you trying to respect yourself, leading yourself, not always needing someone else to give you a cue. Trying to find your own stability and your structure. Enacting what are the rules and the power that you need to be under for your authority to be restored for yourself instead of you being under someone else's authority. Protection. How do you protect yourself? What is protecting you? How do you feel when it comes to your protection, when it comes to other people? Do you feel safe? Do you put yourself in safe situations? All this can be located in your ancestor message and your ancestor protection, which is 444. There's some things that you need to be handling, and it don't necessarily have anything to do with anybody outside of you. This 444 means you need to do some good old shadow work, and it needs to happen ASAP. And that is your Cancer message. Cancer, you've got a lot of work to do. 444 is a 12, which is 3, which is divine intervention. God is talking to you, Cancer. Are you going to go and answer the phone? Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Oh, Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what you want. Oh, call him up and tell him what you want. Yes, he is. He's gonna answer you. All you gotta do is answer. I'm talking to you. All right, so that's for Cancer, and that was that. Wow, that made me break out a little bit of a sweat. Let me get on out of there before we get in trouble over there. Somebody in trouble. Trouble. All right, so Leo, what's going on? We've got this Nine of Swords coming back out, and we've got the 3, what's going on again. And we've got a 4, 934, 934. Somebody 43, 34, September 93, 39. We've got 49, we've got 94. We've got 9, a 3, and a 4. We got September, we've got March, and we've got April. September, March, and April, we've got Gemini, we've got Libra, and we've got Capricorn. All right, okay, Leo, what's up? Anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, despair. Somebody just can't get it right. They can't get it right. They can't roll over and find a soft spot. What's going on? Heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, depression. Maybe they've lost love. Maybe they've lost support. Maybe they don't have the person that they think that they want. Maybe they're thinking about an old love that's lost, or they're thinking about a love that can never be attained. Either way, somebody is very hurt. They're not sleeping very well. It keeps them up at night, smoking cigarettes at night. Anybody remember Tweet? Okay, so somebody likes to send messages and cry in between the responses, especially when they're not getting the response that they're trying to pull out of a person. And yes, I said it exactly the way that I meant. When a person is trying to be very manipulative, a lot of times they will use guilt and tears and a lot of emotions to pull a person back and forth. So somebody's not getting the reactions that they're trying to pull out of a person, and it's causing a four. I don't know why it's tied into their finances. So somebody's using emotions to enact finances or financially strap someone, saving money, security, conservation, scarcity, control, frugality. So someone's trying to, if they can't have you in love, they're going to mess up your finances one way or another. Somebody is using their emotions to control a person by any means necessary. If they've got a result to messing with their living situation, they will. If they got to mess with their food, their finances, if they got to mess with their mental, it doesn't matter. Somebody is very, very controlling and manipulative, and they're very greedy. They're very selfish. They're like, it's mine. I want it. You're mine. Either you go, we go together, or either you go with me, or you go, or I go with you. Pick one, and it all mean the same damn thing. Somebody just wants what they want, and they're very selfish when it comes to somebody's love, when it comes to somebody's space, attention, their finances. They don't want anybody to have this person. They don't want it to share. They're very, very selfish and very, very controlling. And they're very heartbroken because they're not getting exactly what they want. And they're holding on for dear, dear life. Whatever they can hold on to try to control this person, that's what they're trying to affect. And that is real in this Leo situation. We have a 7 and a 9, which is a 16, which is a tower moment. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never found someone the way that I love you. Somebody is falling, falling, falling. Hey, turn it down, babe. Turn it down too. And eat your breakfast. He's everywhere, but I bet you if I had these snacks, these Welch's fruit snacks out, he'd be over. He would have stood still. All right, Virgo, let's go, Virgo. Remember, our last one is Scorpio, and right now we're in Virgo, so we've got Libra to go, all right? Libra in the midst of things. We're down to the last three, and here we are. We're 1:08 on the clock. I told you we'd be a little shorter today. We'll be a little shorter today. Okay, so we've got the Two of Swords, difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, and deadlock. And we've got the Six of Swords, which is transitioning, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, moving on. And then we have the Five. We have 265, which institution, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded mercy, wisdom, and trust. Okay, so Libra, Aquarius, and Taurus is what we have here in this Virgo reading. Someone has a difficult decision to make, very deadlocked, weighing their options and trying to avoid making the decision, but a decision has to be made nonetheless, okay? Blind faith, someone has to have, go forward with blind faith, they're going to have to take chances. Whatever it is, they're going to have to move forward one way or another. And they're going to be able, maybe, they don't know, they're not sure. They're having anxiety about transitioning. They don't know how this new change is going to affect them in the long run. However, they know changes are going to come. They're going to have to release some baggage. However, maybe they took on a lifestyle that they weren't able to withstand. However, they're going to have to brace for the impact. I remember saying that at the beginning of the reading. Someone's going to have to brace for the impact. All right, so someone's business or someone's way of life, someone's mode, someone's status, someone's tax bracket. Something is going to be affected, okay? Institutions, tradition, religion, society, and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded mercy, wisdom, trust. Their influence is also going to change. If they're a pastor, if they're a motivational speaker, whatever happens, their congregation, something's going to change. Their allies, their connections, something is definitely going to change. Maybe not for the best, we don't know, but something's going to give, okay? We've got a 2, a 6, and a 5. We've got February, we've got June, and we've also got May. We've got the 26, we've got the 26, we've got somebody that's 62, we've got somebody that's 65, we've got somebody that's 56. We've also got somebody that's 52 as well. There's also a youngin, someone in their 20s, someone maybe 25 and younger, 25 and older, something like that. Either way, in this Virgo reading, someone's going to have to give up the goat. They're going to have to brace for the impact because it looks like everything in their life is about to change as they know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I think that's Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm might be a name that's significant. Malcolm, Michael, something like that. All right. We've got the 2, a 6, and a 5. We've got Libra, Aquarius, and the Taurus. Here we are. Those are the cards. Okay. Now we've got Libra here, and last but not least is going to be Scorpio because we started off in Sagittarius. Now we're here. We got 111 on the clock as we go. All right, Libra, King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. All right, we've only got one number, which is 1. All right, somebody is the one, or that's only one. They only have one person to blame or one life to live. Okay, all right. King of Swords, head over heart, discipline, truthful, honest, mental clarity, authority. And then we've got nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. Then we've got love, compassion, creativity, new feeling, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, marriage. Somebody has returned back to their original self and they are ready for the world. Someone is whole and the world is whole for it. Ready? The world is their oyster. They've got all the things, they've learned all the lessons. We've got Taurus, Gemini, Sagittarius, we've got Capricorn, and this is a Libra reading. Awesome. So we've got earth, air, fire. We've got 2 earths. So somebody is super grounded, super stable. They know how to communication. They know how to be direct. They are ready to go forward and be married. They're going to either be married with themselves, or they're going to be married with the universe, or they're going to find someone who makes them their whole entire world. When they're together, they'll be in a world by themselves, okay? So somebody is definitely ready for a new marriage, new proposal, new everything, okay? They're ready to go forward and take the world by the reins, all right? So this has been the Libra reading. Take what resonates: Sun, Moon, Rising, Gemini, Taurus, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. Ace of Cups. This is the only number that is out. Somebody has returned to their wholeness. They have returned to themselves, and they can go forward any way they like. The world is indeed their oyster. Look at that. Refreshing. King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. What a beautiful reading. All right, last but not least, we've got Scorpio. Hello with your passionate, beautiful self. How are you, Scorpio? Your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful self. All right, let's go. King of Pentacles. We've got heavy burdens at the bottom of the deck, but let's not worry about that now. We're going to worry about what we've got in front of our faces. And this is how you don't get ahead of the game. You stay intent on the present. You got to be in the present before you can even go forward, okay? So we've got the King of Pentacles, which is wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, generosity. This is a beautiful card to have. It's a bit busy, but hey, when you've got a lot going on, you can't be shy about it, okay? Now we've got the Lovers, which is the 6. Love, harmony, relationships, union, partnership, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, a choice of strength of 2 together. Oh my God, this sounds wonderful. But somebody's heartbroken because of it. You're breaking someone's heart, okay? Heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, depression, and it happens to be in the Libra energy. We just got out of a Libra reading, so that means there's something going on with the Libra here. Someone does not like how balanced this is becoming in this world. It breaks their heart that someone actually has someone to go to and it's not them. All right. So someone's heart is breaking as they realize that they are not the best, last, or only option on this world. That there are other people that are just as compatible, if not more compatible than them in this world with you. All right. So as you have your throne, man or woman, remember there is no gender in tarot, bullshit, or bitches. Okay. Wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. This is what you have going on. This is what is being seen in store for you. Even if you don't have it now, this is how people view you. When they look at you, this is what they see. They see all the possibilities of what could be. And here we are, the lovers. They're a little naked, so I'm going to cover them up. But I'm going to read, okay? Love, harmony, relationships, union, partnership, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, a choice of the strength of two together. See, this is the issue here with this old Libra energy here going on, is that they understand that now, in hindsight, you represented everything that they did fantasize about. You see how all of this was going on? They realized that they were just right there. They had it within grip if they didn't already have it, and they gave it up chasing waterfalls. So somebody gave up the very epitome of love, the very epitome of royalty, of aristocracy, of having a good life and fulfillment. They gave it up just to hold a bunch of nothing. And this is how they feel, okay? And this is what we've got in the Scorpio reading. Take what resonates, sun, moon, rising. Here we are. We have the Leo, Virgo, Gemini energy, which represents everything that a person ever wanted. And this Libra energy represents the indecision that made them make the wrong decision. In this Libra, the scales were not balanced, and they're realizing that an equal give and take wasn't too much for to ask for, and they should have done it when they had the chance. But now, in hindsight, this is what they see in the rear view, and there are no U-turns. Please be advised, once you've exited on the outside of Enterprise, there is no re-entry. So someone has exited the Enterprise most definitely, and there are spikes on the road. There will be no spinning the block. And they're so heartbroken, so very, very heartbroken. That has been the Scorpio reading, and that was the last one. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. We have Leo, Virgo, Gemini, and Libra. All right, the number was 9, 6 plus 3. Somebody's either 36 or 63. They started this when it was 36, and they're ending up in 63. Either way, that's 9, which is divine. Hey, something's good coming in September, between September and October. Hopefully, we see you there. All right, this has been Monday Morning with Nyx. Get those kids up, get them watered and fed, and get them on out of there. All right, bye-bye.